Hello viewers, we are going to introduce a digital soldering station integrated with the solder feeder system. Model is DSF 76D. It is a 90 watt soldering station cum solder feeder system sold by India Enterprises. We will give you an overview about this product and we will show you the parts supplied along with this equipment. So let's start and open this box. The first thing you will see is this operating manual. So then the soldering iron, and the mounting stand for holding the soldering iron, and this is the solder reel holder. We will take out the main unit first. See, this is the main unit. It is a combined soldering station and solder feeder system. The next thing is the support rack for holding the soldering iron. It's a silicone pad for removing the soldering tips even in hot condition, and the grounding cord. This is a tray and sponge for just if the excess solder drops, it will be retained on this metallic tray. This is the foot switch attachment, and this is the power cord for connecting to the external power supply. First we will take the power cord and connect it to the main power supply, and it is connected onto the rear side of this unit. External grounding cord can also be connected on the rear side of this unit. With the help of this banana plug, we can insert it here, and then we can connect this crocodile clip to the other side of grounding wire. The next thing to do is to connect this soldering iron to the main unit. See, we are using a guide tube assembly with 1 mm solder wire diameter attachment, but optional guide tube assembly with the finger switch attachment is also available. Customer can request it on demand, and if foot switch attachment is required, that is a part of default power this unit. Now we will show you how to connect this soldering iron to the main unit. This is connected with the help of a metallic connector on the rear side. Now we will connect this feeding and guide tube assembly to the feeding attachment. Now we will remove this top cover of this feeding attachment, and we will need to just loose this screw and insert this guide tube assembly here, and then just tighten the screw by using a screwdriver. Then we need to insert the solder wire diameter of 1 mm on the rear side of this feeding unit. We need to just align the solder wire so that we need to use this spring also. So in this way, by aligning the solder wire the and using the spring, you can insert the solder wire into the guide tube assembly. Then just this top cover, the solder wire moves with the help of this foot switch. This foot switch is connected again on the rear side of this unit. See how this is connected. This soldering iron is to be mounted on this side hanger. We need to just take out this mounting bracket and just unscrew this knob, then fix this mounting bracket here and tighten the screw again. Then we need to insert the soldering iron inside this mounting bracket. Now we will place the soldering iron inside this mounting bracket. So this is how it is done. Then we need to tighten the screw, both the screw. Then now we need to align the soldering iron according to your job. So this is how the soldering iron is connected to the main unit, and the solder wire is also has been inserted inside this guide tube assembly. Now the unit is ready to use, and we will switch it on, and we will see the lowest temperature and the highest temperature. The lowest temperature is 200 degree, and by pressing this down button we can achieve the lowest temperature of 200 degree centigrade. You will see it will slowly attain the lowest temperature. Once it is achieved, then we will see the highest temperature of this solder feeder system. We can see the lowest temperature has been achieved. Now we will increase the temperature and see the highest temperature of the soldering unit. The highest temperature is 480 degree, and the unit will slowly achieve the highest set temperature. So we have shown you the lowest and highest temperature range. The next thing is the calibration. So in order to maintain the uniformity of soldering and to maintain the quality standards, one should calibrate this unit periodically. So we will explain you the procedure for calibration one by one. We need to use an external calibrator for calibrating this unit. See, we are using here I191AD thermometer, which is also sold by Indian Enterprises. We need to check the tip temperature first. We need to apply some fresh solder on the soldering bit by pressing this foot switch. Yeah. Then we will check the tip temperature with the help of this thermocouple. Yeah, this we can see that the set temperature is 350 degree, whereas the actual temperature is 372. Now we will explain the calibration procedure. First we need to press this star button, then simultaneously press this up and down button. We can see the first digit is flashing. Now we will just feed the same value which we have observed on the calibrator, that was 372. Then we need to press the star button again to move the cursor further, then use the up button to select 7, then again press star button to and use the up button to select 372, then press the star button once again to just feed this value. Now the offset value has been given, and the set temperature and actual temperature will be same. We will verify the set and actual temperature once again with the help of an external calibrator. We can see that set temperature is 350 and the actual temperature is also 350 degree. So we have matched both the values. Now this unit has been calibrated up to our satisfaction. This unit has a very useful feature of password setting. By changing the password, we can prevent the operator from misusing this unit, and the operator cannot change the temperature if we change the password. So we will explain you how to change the password. The default password is 000. We will explain it one by one. First we need to switch unit off, then press this up and down button simultaneously and switch unit on. Then this C will be flashing on the display. Then we need to press this star button. 3 blank will be displayed on the unit. Then we need to this change the temperature, this password, by pressing this up button the default password is 000. First we will input the default password by using this up and star button. Star button is used for moving the cursor to the next stage. Then we need to we have just input the default password, then we will press the star button. OK will be displayed. Then we need to press this star button once again. Now we can input the new password. We will select the 111 as new password. We will use the cursor, the star button, to move the cursor further. Now 111, we need to just repeat the process once again. Again 111 will be used. Then press the star button. Now the password has been changed to 111. To just enable this password change, we need to switch unit on off once, then switch it on. Now we can see that the by pressing this up or down button, temperature cannot be varied. Temperature has been locked at 350 degree. Only the person who is knowing the uh, set password can change the temperature setting by inputting the new password. Solder feeder system as a very unique feature to select the various work mode according to user's requirement. So by selecting the work mode, we can change the lowest and highest temperature settings. So we will show you how to change the work mode. First we need to switch unit off, then press this up and down button simultaneously and switch the unit on, then press the star button, then input the default password, which is 000, then press this OK, then use up and down button simultaneously to select the work mode. Now 3 is flashing on the display. It means 3 work mode has been selected, but we can change the work mode by pressing this up or down button. So in this way, we by using the selected work mode, we can use the highest and lowest temperature setting. Please refer to the table mentioned in the operating manual, which has clarified all the working modes available inside this unit. So by selecting the suitable work mode, we can select the upper and lower temperature range. Then press the star button to confirm. Now we are going to explain various features of this feeding mechanism. So it is having various features like feeding length, return, interval time, speed, and mode, etc. So we will explain all these features one by one. So let's start and see. You can see the first 3 digit on top left is denotes the feeding length. First 3 digits. Now right now it is the input value is 000. So this feeding length ranges from 0.15 mm to 150 mm. At when the length is set as 000 the feeding length will be 0.15 mm, and when the unit is selected as 999, then maximum feeding length of 150 mm will be fed. So it is having a resolution of 0.15 mm, and each digit denotes a feeding length of 0.15 mm. So one digit of increment of one digit will increase the feeding length by 0.15 mm. Next one is the return. So this return button denotes the return time second and the return length as well. So at 0 the return feature will be disabled, but this feature is very important to avoid the wastage of solder wire. So at 1 the return time will be 0.1 second and the return length of solder wire will be 2.8 mm. So at 9 the return time interval will be 0.9 second and the maximum return length will be 25 mm. So it is having a resolution of 0.1 second, and when it is enabled, the set length of solder wire will move in reverse direction. The next is interval time. So interval time is the time taken, is the time gap between two solder joints. So interval time of 1 to 9 it ranges. So is a resolution of 0.3 second. So when the digit is selected as 1, then the interval time will be 0.3 second, and when 9 is selected, the interval time will be 2.7 seconds. I already explained to you that this is the interval time between two solder joint when the manual mode is not selected and automatic mode is selected. Next one is the speed, the feeding speed. The feeding speed ranges from 2.7 mm to 27 mm per second. So it is when you know that feeding speed is selected at 1, then 2.7 mm length of solder wire will fed, and at when the speed is selected at 9, the maximum length of 27 mm per second will move. Next is the mode. So when 0 is selected, then it is this mode feature will be disabled, but when mode is selected greater than 1 or 2 or 3, then suppose if we select 3 as mode, then set length of solder wire will move 3 times, and interval should also be enabled. It should also be enabled to activate the mode. So in like we now I will explain you. The interval is also enabled and mode is also enabled at 3 we have selected, and we'll have to just select the length as well. So we have select this interval time is also enabled, mode is selected as 3, and set length of solder wire is also been chosen by us. Now in this case, a set length of solder wire will will move 3 times after interval of we have selected. So we will show you. Now we have seen a set length of solder wire is moved 3 times after a set interval time. So this is very useful feature we can use for soldering different type of soldering joint. So it's a very useful tool. Thanks for watching.